Twilight didn't just give us sparkly vampires, it made its cast Hollywood stars. Some kept climbing the movie ladder, others traded red carpets for peace and quiet. So, who's rolling in the most vampire cash today? Let's find out. Number 9. Kellan Lutz, around $5 million. Growing up with 6 brothers and 1 sister, the actor basically trained for Hollywood by surviving dinner time.
We had to fight for our food, so I'm very competitive at heart, but not with myself. Like, I always strive to do the best that I can. I'm a hard worker.
Before Twilight, he popped up in The Bold and the Beautiful, CSI New York, and 6 Feet Under. But of course, fans know him best as Emmett Cullen in all 5 vampire flicks. He was first offered $1 million for the role, but negotiated higher, earning about $3.5 to $4 million from the saga alone. Outside of Forks, Kellan flexed as Poseidon in Immortals, John Smiley in The Expendables 3, and even Hercules himself. More recently, he reunited with Twilight co-star Cam Gigande for the crime thriller Desert Dawn. Cam is a super talented actor, and I know fans are going to love seeing him, and I on the same team. But Kellan's not just about biceps. He's also an inventor with more than 30 patents. From gadgets to games, he keeps turning ideas into reality. Invent. I love inventing, that's my first passion. Lutz has also started several businesses, from the clothing brand Abbott plus Maine to the production group Foresight Creative, the Vision Board Project, National Vision Board Day, and even his own digital company, Kellan IT. And yep, he's the guy behind blackout bands.
It's pretty much a new age sleep mask. So there's sunglasses that are completely blacked out.
These days, the 40-year-old lives in Nashville with his wife, Brittany Gonzalez, and their 2 kids. And before we dive into more Twilight tea, don't forget to hit subscribe to OSSA Movies for all the latest on your favorite stars and stories. Number 8. Jackson Rathbone, around $7 million. Before his vampire days, Jackson kicked things off as a teen host on Disney 411, interviewing stars like Hilary Duff.
And we have the 411 as she gets ready for her concert tonight. Come on!
Not a bad way to practice for Hollywood, right? While fans know him as Jasper Hale, Jackson isn't just an actor, he's also a musician. From 2008 to 2012, he was the lead vocalist of the band 100 Monkeys. And yes, he's still making music on his own. He's also got a heart as big as his fan base. As an honorary board member of Little Kids Rock, Jackson has donated a signed Twilight script, delivered instruments, and even visited classrooms to help kids discover the power of music. On screen, he stayed busy too. Besides Twilight, you might have spotted him in Nickelodeon's live-action The Last Airbender, the comedy Books and Drinks, and the drama Laws of Man. And while his career is thriving, he hasn't forgotten his vampire roots. Jackson still shows up at fan conventions. Off-screen, life's just as full. He's been happily married to Sheila Hafsadi for over a decade, and together they're raising 3 adorable kids. Number 7. Ashley Greene, around $8 million. The star first dreamed of being a model, but since her height wasn't runway approved, she pivoted to acting, and that choice landed her the role of a lifetime. Before joining the Twilight family, she popped up on Punk'd and the NBC drama Crossing Jordan. But of course, fans know her best as Alice Cullen, the most stylish vampire with future vision.
Bella and I are going to be great friends.
For the first Twilight, she only made about $65,000. But by the time Breaking Dawn rolled around, Ashley and Kellan Lutz negotiated their pay up to $1.25 million each per film, a huge jump that settled a contract standoff. Outside of Forks, Greene proved her range with films like Summer's Blood, A Warrior's Heart, and The Apparition. More recently, she's stuck with the spooky side of Hollywood in It Feeds and The Ritual. Ashley also co-hosted the podcast The Twilight Effect until 2022, where she and Melanie Howe unpacked the saga and answered burning fan questions.
The way that people love Twilight and are so invested in it, like I didn't really have something like that when I was a kid.
But she's not just busy in Hollywood. From childhood, her dad taught her to be smart with money. And that's important because I want to know that I don't have to take an acting job for 2 or 3 years if I don't want to, and that I'll still be able to make my house and car payments and buy food for my dogs. She's a smart investor, putting money into brands like Hydrant and Therabody, and even took a finance course at Yale. On top of that, the star co-founded Hummingway, a wellness company focused on women's health. In her personal life, the 38-year-old is thriving. She married Australian TV personality Paul Corey in 2018. Together, they raise a 2-year-old daughter. Number 6. Peter Facinelli, around $10 million. The actor brought Dr. Carlisle Cullen to life in the Twilight movies.
I heard the chief's daughter was here.
Unlike most of his on-screen kids playing high schoolers, Peter was actually in his early 30s when he joined the saga. The 51-year-old built his wealth with roles across film and TV. Beyond Twilight, he's known as Donovan Van Ray on Fox's Fastlane, and as Mike Dexter in the teen classic Can't Hardly Wait. He also had big runs on Nurse Jackie and Supergirl. His net worth dipped a little in recent years, mostly because he wasn't working as much. But don't count him out. Peter's got 6 new projects coming up. The 51-year-old is also a writer and producer with his own company, Facinelli Films, behind Lucy's and other passion projects. On the personal side, the actor was married to Beverly Hills 90210 star Jenny Garth for over a decade, and together they share 3 daughters. Later, he got engaged to actress Lily Ann Harrison, and in 2022 they welcomed their son, Jack. Number 5. Nikki Reed, around $12 million. Her path to Twilight started way before vampires. When Reed was 14, director Catherine Hardwicke invited her to co-write 13.
The film is not autobiographical. Okay. It's loosely based on things I went through, but also things that a lot of my friends went through and things I observed.
When casting got tricky, Nikki stepped in herself. The movie earned $10 million and won her an Independent Spirit Award. Not bad for a teen debut. Besides acting, Nikki explored music, appearing in Hanson's Get the Girl Back and Lady Gaga's Till It Happens to You. She even teamed up with her then-husband Paul McDonald on All I've Ever Needed for the Breaking Dawn Part 2 soundtrack. These days, the 37-year-old has focused on family life with her husband, actor Ian Somerhalder, and she literally became his lifesaver. Somerhalder explained that while shooting The Vampire Diaries and before they started dating, he launched his own company and invested heavily with huge personal guarantees to banks. However, due to greed and fraud within that company and fraudulent activities from our biggest customer, I was left in an 8-figure hole. The actor called it a true nightmare, traveling weekly to pay massive monthly 6-figure banknotes. Over 2 years, he ended up in the hospital 4 times. It was then that Nikki stepped in to save the day. This woman here decided that she didn't want to see her husband ruin his body, mind, spirit, and pulled up her bootstraps and got down in the trenches, assembling a team to get to the negotiating table to find a way out. The couple now raises 2 kids on a peaceful farm, far from Hollywood chaos.
I knew that I felt the most at peace in nature, but I just can't, for me personally, envision a life without that connection to plants and soil.
But stepping back from acting doesn't mean Reed is slowing down. Nikki runs her own eco-friendly jewelry line, Buy You With Love. My mom and I would make bracelets and necklaces, and I would sell it in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grades because that was my lunch money. She also co-founded the Absorption Company, creating tech-powered supplements, and with Ian co-produced Common Ground, a documentary on sustainable farming. And yes, they make a solid business duo.
We're really good business partners, actually. I have to say, we're very much the yin and the yang. He's a super creative and a visionary, and I am all about like the nuts and bolts and logistics.
Number 4, Anna Kendrick, around $20 million. The actress may not have been one of the leads in Twilight, but she's one of the few cast members who went on to become a household name. In fact, many fans forget she was even in the Vampire Saga.
I really just got to show up and be like, you guys are acting really weird. So I feel like I had the best possible job out of all the actors in that movie.
Her big breakout came with the Pitch Perfect series, where she showed off her singing chops as Baker Mitchell and gave us the hit single Cups. She also starred in Into the Woods, The Accountant, and lent her voice to Poppy in the Trolls franchise. On TV, Anna earned a Primetime Emmy nomination for Dummy and led the series Love Life. She's also back as Stephanie Smothers in Another Simple Favor, the sequel to her 2018 dark comedy hit. And there's a reason Kendrick keeps going. When you grow up middle class, you just always feel like you've got to be working or you won't be able to pay the bills. Additionally, Anna made her directorial debut with Woman of the Hour, a thriller based on a true story. The film was acquired by Netflix for $11 million. However, she donated her entire fee to charity, feeling uncomfortable profiting from a project about sexual violence. And back in 2016, she published her memoir, Scrappy Little Nobody, proving she's just as entertaining on the page. Now 40, Kendrick is reportedly single and clearly channeling all her focus into a thriving career. Number 3, Taylor Lautner, around $45 million. Kicking off the top 3 richest Twilight stars is Jacob Black himself. While he started out in Cheaper by the Dozen 2 and The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, it was the Wolf Pack that turned him into a global sensation.
Bella! Where the hell have you been, Loca?
Taylor earned 2.5% of all the profits from the Twilight series, a nice bonus for his role. But after the saga, his acting slowed down. He popped up in Abduction, the sitcom Cuckoo, and had a run on Scream Queens, before stepping away from the spotlight for a while. Part of the answer lies in Lautner's focus on his personal life and mental health. These days, the 33-year-old lives a quieter life in California with his wife, Nurse Taylor Dome, and their 2 dogs. The couple even launched The Squeeze, a mental health podcast inspired by their own journey.
We feel called to do this podcast and just have vulnerable conversations with ourselves, our guests.
Lautner is also into real estate. Over the years, he's bought and sold several homes, including a $3.8 million Mediterranean-style house in Agora Hills in 2020. He flipped it 2 years later for $5.25 million to Kelly Cuoco. The actor's real estate investments date back to his early 20s, when he bought his first home in 2012. But don't think Taylor's done with acting. He's back in the spotlight with a new comedy, The Token Groomsman, and a wink at his wolfy past in the upcoming Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. So, looks like Jacob's howl isn't fading anytime soon. Number 2, Kristen Stewart, around $70 million. The 35-year-old has long proved she's way more than that girl from Twilight. She's a powerhouse actor who bounces from no-budget indies to major blockbusters with ease. Anytime I hear that somebody's really rich, the first question is, do you do anything with it? Or do you, chill? You just sit on it? After Twilight, she racked up roles in Snow White and The Huntsman, Charlie's Angels, and Love Lies Bleeding. She's also been a Chanel ambassador since 2013, with the brand even backing some of her films, like Spencer. But Kristen isn't just acting, she's directing too. Her debut feature, The Chronology of Water, premiered at Cannes and showed audiences a raw, fearless side of her artistry.
I love it. Everyone can have their own relationship with it, but I watch this thing it's the most I feel like I'm watching my kid in kindergarten. I'm like, oh, there you go.
The film is a raw adaptation of the American swimmer Lidia Yuknevich's visceral memoir of surviving abuse as a child.
Because being a woman is a really violent experience, even if you don't have the sort of extreme experience that we depict in the film or that Lidia endured and came out of beautifically.
And off-screen, life's just as full. This April, Stewart tied the knot with her longtime partner, screenwriter Dylan Meyer. Number 1, Robert Pattinson, around $100 million. Before Twilight fame, the actor was already stealing hearts as Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. But Edward Cullen turned him into a global superstar. Even if he wasn't exactly the saga's biggest fan.
I mean, it's a weird story, Twilight, when it's not just it's strange how people responded.
He likely made around $67.5 million from the films alone. However, when asked about his paycheck, he joked, "Could have been better." Since then, Pattinson has carved out one of the most eclectic careers in Hollywood. He jumped into blockbusters like Christopher Nolan's Tenet and brooded his way into Gotham as Bruce Wayne in The Batman. He reportedly earned $3 million upfront for the superhero role, and his films have grossed over $4.7 billion worldwide. But despite his great fortune, Robert admits he can be a spendthrift. "I have very, very low expenditures, but still I manage to spend it all. I guess Hot Pockets are more expensive than I thought." Most recently, Robert starred in Mickey 17, Die My Love with Jennifer Lawrence, and reunited with Nolan for The Odyssey. Oh, and rumor has it he might pop up in Dune Messiah. Off-screen, he's Dior's global ambassador with a $12 million deal. And in his personal life, the 39-year-old has been with singer Suki Waterhouse for 5 years. The couple welcomed their daughter in March 2024 and reportedly rang in 2025 with a secret Caribbean wedding. That's it for today. Whose post-Twilight glow-up impressed you the most? Share in the comments, and thanks for watching.